गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे विष्णुपाद परम सुप्रवर्जकाचार्य श्री श्रीमद श्रील अभय चंद्रमिंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय नामाक्षर हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरी गोवर्धन की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओ ग्लोरीज assembled devotees Hare Krishna, O glorious assembled devotees Hare Krishna, O glorious assembled devotees Hare Krishna, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishta Bhutale Shmatararat Swamriti Namane. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishta Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swamriti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadi Shadarine. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vichakanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Behivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today we continue our discussion on the art of binding the Lord in the heart. Yes, and today we will conclude, although we will not finish. So I'll have to come next year. So we discussed so far first 3 verses of the Madhurashtakam, and in previous class we mentioned how important it is to understand Krishna's Leela, because it is mentioned that Krishna is immersing all the inhabitants of Vrindavan in extremely sweet pastimes. So hearing about Krishna is the method how to connect with him in our heart, to develop deep desire to be part of such sweet pastimes as he performs. Yes, because if we don't know his activities, Janma karma chami divyam evam aviti tato yaktva deham punarjanma naitim amiti sarjana. And Krishna himself says in 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that we should know his about his birth and activities, janma karma chami divyam, and that they are transcendental. We should understand that they are transcendental. They are not from this world. They are not ordinary activities of an ordinary cute child, but they are transcendental. But although they are transcendental, there is no, in Vrindavan mood, there is no awe and reverence. And this is stressed repeatedly by Satyavrat Muni, that we cannot bind the Lord with awe and reverence. And we mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned that Krishna is saying, knowing my opulence, the whole world looks upon me with awe and veneration. But devotion made feeble by such reverence does not attract me. Yes, feeble means weak. Devotion which is caused by awe and reverence, or which is imbued with awe and reverence, is weak. Yes, and doesn't please the Lord very much. And in many places it is explained that with Vaidhi Bhakti we cannot enter Vrindavan, because in Vrindavan it's a world of raga. We can enter Vaikuntha though, even Dvaraka, but not Vrindavan. Yes. Therefore it is really important. Nayam Sukapu Bhagavan Dehinam Gopika Sutaha Gyananam Chatma Bhutanam Yata Bhakti Matamaha. It is explained in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam how no one, not Gyanis, not Karmis, not even devotees who are imbued with awe and reverence, can attain Krishna in Vrindavan. Yes. Only those who have pure love, unconditional love, as we said in the beginning of our seminar, ahetukya pratihata, our bhakti to adokshaja should be ahetuki, unmotivated, completely unmotivated. Yes. Shri Radha Gopinatha ki jai. And it's interesting that to which extent the Lord is not bound by such devotion. It's an example of that even Sita Devi couldn't bind Lord Ram. So he banished her into the forest. Yes, although she was pregnant. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that Krishna would banish Srimati Radharani? Never. Not that he just bowed down to her feet. He bows down even to her maidservants, to Manjaris, to let him in the bower when Srimati Radharani is sulking, in a sulking mood. And she forbids Krishna to enter her bower. Krishna begs from her sakis, from her maidservants, from Manjaris, for allowance to see Srimati Radharani. Yes. So we should understand that only this sweet love can bind Krishna. And we were given this most precious jewel of Raga Bhakti by Srila Prabhupada, and of course from our acharyas and ultimately from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And although Srila Prabhupada was extremely cautious that we wouldn't take this cheaply, he gave us practically Raganuga sadhana, especially Mangalarati. Mangalarati is really full of raga. So if you want to quickly advance, you should attend to Mangalarati every day. Without exception. Yes. Yes. This is true. But important also it is that we don't sing like recorded music without consciousness what we sing. Therefore, we should know what we sing. Yes, and it's extremely intimate. Mangalarati, extremely intimate, and it's unique. This kind of Mangalarati is not common, even in Gaudiya, other Gaudiya Mat groups. They don't have the same Mangalarati as Prabhupada gave us to us. Yes, so it's unique, and we have. We sing the Guru Ashtaka, which is very intimate meditation on our Guru. Yes, how he is intimate servant of Srimati Radharani and Krishna in the bowers of Vrindavan, and we know that no one in male form can enter bowers of Radha and Krishna. So we meditate on our Guru as Manjari Saki of Srimati Radharani, most intimate. And we are, of course, servants of our Gurus. So we can meditate how we serve the maidservant of Radha and Krishna, of Radha Gopinath. Yes, this should be spoken, I believe. Although we should be very careful not to take this cheaply, but it should be spoken. Otherwise, we will not achieve, not even hanker for this perfection. Yes. And then we sing Tulsi Devi, which is also just prayer to achieve intimate service of Radha and Krishna. Yes. If we understand what we sing. Yes. So it's important to understand what we sing. Yes. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So, in this mood, we can enter the next verse of the Mudarashtakam. Varam deva moksham na moksha vadim va na chanyam vrineham varishadapiha. Varam deva moksham na moksha vadim va na chanyam vrineham varishadapiha. Idam teva purnata gopala balam sadame manasya virastam kinanyai. Idam teva purnata gopala balam sadame manasya virastam kinanyai. O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Balagopala in Vrindavana may ever be manifest in my heart, for what is the use to me of any other boon besides this? Yes, this is very intimate prayer. Varam Deva. Varam means boon, boons. So, and you are Deva. Lord Krishna explains in 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. In fact, Arjuna prays to Krishna. Swayam eva tvanatvanam vetatvam purushottama. Bhuta bhavana bhuteshu deva deva jagatpate. That you are Deva Deva, the Lord of the gods. Yes, the God of the gods. And Vetatvam Purushottama, Swayam Evatmanatmanam, Vetatvam Purushottama. You are the only one who knows yourself. Who knows yourself, yes. Vetatvam Purushottama. Bhuta Bhavana, you are the master of all living entities. Bhuteshu. Deva Deva Jagatpate. And you are the master of the universe, Jagannath. And you are Deva Deva. So you are extremely great. It's interesting. Before this, he acknowledges, yes, it's impossible to achieve the Lord with awe and reverence. And he seems to be very reverential, isn't it? Although he's reverential, we should understand this. We mentioned this, maybe it's proper to remember how Lord glories, especially in separation from him, are not covered, even for the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Even Maharaj Nanda and Mother Yashoda, they, when Uddhava came, it was obvious that they knew, especially Maharaj Nanda, because Yashoda couldn't speak a word, that Krishna is the Lord. And he quoted Gargamuni, who said that Krishna is the same as Narayan in his power. Yes, but this understanding, this knowledge, it couldn't cover their love. On the other side, Devaki and Vasudeva, who understood, yes, Krishna is Supreme Lord, they bowed down to him and prayed that they can be loving devotees of his. Yes, so their love was diminished, but not love of Yashoda and Nanda. It is said by our acharyas that it's a comparison. Even if a son becomes an emperor, great emperor, still her mother thinks about his welfare, that he is eating well and he's my son. So when Nanda and Yashoda were thinking of Krishna as the Supreme Lord, that even ordinary parents, they condemned themselves. Even ordinary parents, they die if their children go away. But we are so condemned that even if our child is the Supreme Lord, our child, we still continue living. Yes. So their love was never eclipsed. And even we mentioned that gopis also knew that Lord, that Krishna is Supreme Lord. And when Jatila, mother-in-law of Radha, sends Srimati Radharani to the house of Maharaj Nanda to cook for Krishna, and Radharani is extremely happy in her heart, but she tries to show resistance, that she doesn't want to go from her house to someone else's house. And then Jatila, her mother-in-law, says, "Don't worry, you're a very nice, chaste girl, and Lord Hari will protect you." And then all these girls, Sakis, they giggle because they know that Krishna is Hari. She says, even Jatila, mother-in-law, she says, I hand you in Hari's hand. And he will definitely take good care of such a chaste girl as you are. And he does. Hare Krishna. So, although here Satyavrata Muni is showing knowledge of his greatness of the Lord, still he prays for this intimate love for Krishna. Not to glorify the Lord for his supreme position, that he is Deva Deva, the God of gods, but prays for only one boon, that he could see his face as a small boy who is helpless, who is running away from his mother in fear. This is his prayer, this is his meditation. Please reveal your form in this way. Yes, I don't want to see any other form of yours. I don't want to see you as Deva Deva or great Mahavishnu who is lying on the causal ocean, yes, from whose pores comes unlimited universes. Yes. So, no, he wants only this sweet form to be seen by him. So, this should be also our meditation, although we know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. But still, we should see most sweet Krishna's form in every Krishna's form. Yes. This is mentioned in Prima Bhakti Chandrika from Narottam Das Thakur. That we should have firm devotion only to Krishna and Vrindavan. And for example, for this firm devotion, it's interesting what kind of example he gives. He gives an example of Hanuman. As Hanuman is unwavering in his devotion to Lord Ram, so we should be unwavering in our devotion to Lord Krishna. And there is a story how Hanuman is completely dedicated to Ram. And Hanuman, and Narottam Das Thakur quotes how Hanuman states that, yes, I know that there is no difference between my Lord Ram and super soul in the heart, Narayan. But I'm only interested in my Lord Ram and nothing else. And one story illustrates this. Once Lord Krishna in Dwaraka said to Garuda, please go to Hanuman and bring him here to Dwaraka, and said to him that Lord Krishna is calling you. And really Garuda flew there and said, Hanuman, you are most fortunate devotee of the Lord. Lord Krishna is calling you to come to him, to see him in Dwaraka. Please come. And Hanuman said to him, oh, it's very nice, but I don't have time. I worship my Lord Ram. And Garuda was offended. How can you deny the request of the Lord? If you are called for, you must come immediately. Don't hesitate. But Hanuman was adamant that he has to worship Lord Ram. And then Garuda wanted to take Hanuman by force to Krishna. And he wanted to grab Garuda. And then Garuda wanted to grab Hanuman. And Hanuman, just with the tip of his tail, he threw Garuda 100 yojanas away. He flew into the ocean somewhere. And then Garuda came back to Krishna and he said, Hanuman didn't want to come. And he said that he's occupied with worship of Lord Ram. And then Krishna just laughed and said, now go again to Hanuman and said to say to him that Lord Ram is calling him. And so Garuda really flew again to Hanuman and said, Hanuman, Lord Ram is now calling for you. And then Hanuman jumped with so much force that Garuda again flew 100 yojanas away. And he flew towards Dwaraka, and Krishna immediately said to Rukmini and to Balram, please turn yourself to Sita and Lakshman immediately. And he turned Dwaraka to Ayodhya. Yes. And then at that moment, Hanuman came and he bowed down to Lord Ram, to Lord Krishna in the form of Ram, with great love. Yes. So Narottam Das Thakur says, that should be our determination to worship Lord Krishna. Yes. So even if there is murti of Lord Nrsimhadev, we should see Lord Krishna's feet form. Yes. Or any other form, we should see Lord Krishna. Most intimate form of Lord Krishna. Most beautiful form of Lord Krishna. Yes. Hanker for most beautiful form of Lord Krishna, as Satyavrat Muni here prays. Yes. For most intimate darshan of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Yes. So, and this, he says here that he doesn't want any kind of liberation. Yes. Of course, there are 5 types of liberation we know from Shastra. And Kapila Muni explains, Salokya sarshti samapya sarupa maikatvam apita diyamana nagrihnati vinamat sevanam jana. That for my devotees, Salokya, that means living at the same planet as Krishna. Salokya sarshti, to have the same opulence as Krishna. Samipya, to live in Lord's proximity all the time. And Sarupya, to have the similar form as the Lord. These are 4 kinds of liberation, and there is also the 5th one, this is impersonal liberation, Sayujya, to merge into the form of the Lord, or his effulgence. My devotees don't accept this. Yes, these forms of liberation, especially if they are devoid of my service. Yes. So we should understand this. Because many times we can hear, even amongst devotees, yes, I just want to go back home, back to Godhead. Have you heard anything like this? Yes. This is desire for liberation, actually. Or for enjoyment. And Krishna understands our jargon. What do we can say? I want to go back home, back to Godhead. But in our heart, we are wishing to enjoy. We have this wish to enjoy. And Krishna see through our words and fulfills our true desire. And we can go to heaven, because devotees usually live piously, quite pure life, so they can go to heaven. No big deal for Krishna, if they have desire to enjoy. Yes, so when we pray, we shouldn't pray for to go back home, back to Godhead. We should pray for service. We should pray for service. This is only kind of liberation, actually, is service. Service attitude. Yes. It is explained in second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nirodasya anushayanam atmanakshakhi shaktivi muktir hitvanyata rupam swarupena vyavastiti. That muktir hitvanyata rupam. That mukti means to give up all other forms, swarupena vyavastiti, and be situated in one's swarupa, one's own form. Sva means own, and rupa means form. And what is our real swarupa? What is our swarupa? Yes, to be a dasa, dasa, no dasa. Jivara swarupa hoy, Krishna nitya das. So, Jivara Swarupa, Swarupa of a Jiva, is to be Nitya Das. This is our Swarupa. So, Bhagavatam confirmed this. Muktir hitvanyata rupam swarupena vyavasiti. So, if we give up all other rupas and we are situated in our Swarupa, that means that we are servants, then we are liberated. Yes. And as we mentioned also, this Krishna's statement from 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyanjantyanti kalivaram tam tam aveti kaunta sadatat bhava bhavata. And whatever state of consciousness one has at the time of death, that state will definitely achieve, without doubt, Krishna says. So, what does it mean? That means that we shouldn't hanker like some ordinary pious people, religious people, to go to some specific place after death. We mentioned that death doesn't have the potency to change our position. Yes, yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tyajantyanti kalivaram. Whatever state of consciousness there is, that state will doubtlessly achieve. So death doesn't change anything, actually. What changes is consciousness, as Krishna also explains in this very verse. So if we want to go back home, back to Godhead after death, we should be back home, back to Godhead now. Yes. No. And in spiritual world there is no time concern, no future, no past. It's eternal present. So that means we should be now in spiritual world. Yes. And when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became a devotee, he was staunch impersonalist before. And then he became a devotee. And he was so enthusiastic about bhakti that he changed the word mukti into bhakti. In Tateno Kampansu Samikshamano Punjane Vatma Kritam Vipakam Hritvakva Purbirvida Dandamaste Jiveta Yo Mukti Pate Sadaya Bhag. he changed to Bhakti Pade Sadaya Bhak because he was averse to even hear the word mukti. Yes, and this verse explains how we should perceive any inconvenience, any suffering in this world as Lord's mercy upon us. And if we have such an attitude, then mukti or liberation is our rightful claim, or it's irrevocable fact, actually. Yes. And then Lord Chaitanya explained to him, you cannot change Srimad Bhagavatam. And actually, the only mukti is bhakti. Yes. Because, as we explained, that Svarupana Yavakshati, that means that that we should be situated in our Svarupa, which is Krishna Nitya Das. So, and this is bhakti. There is no other liberation than bhakti, actually. Even if these impersonalists, if they want to achieve impersonal liberation, they have to perform bhakti and not be offensive to the Lord. Not to think that Lord is material, sattva guna form. But they should understand that it's completely transcendental. Yes. Otherwise, they cannot achieve mukti without the mercy of bhakti. Then there, ye nye ramitaksha vimukta maninas vayasta bhavata vishuddha budaya aruhra krishnena parampadam tata patantya do nadrita yushmatangraha. They are vimukta maninas. They are just imagining that they are liberated. Vimukta maninas. But actually, as this verse of Bhagavatam explains, there are avishuddha budaya, impure intelligence. Yes. And therefore patantyada, again they fall down. They don't achieve liberation. Yes. So bhakti is only kind of liberation, actually. Yes. And we should not strive for some position, physical place, but our consciousness should be changed. That our consciousness should be devotional. Our consciousness should be servant of the servant of the servant. Yes. Because and this is what Lord Chaitanya prayed. Naham vipro na cha narapatir na paveshyo na shudro, naham varna na cha grihapatir nova na stoyatirva. Kintu prodan nikila paramananda purna ber gopi bardu padakamale or dasa dasa na dasa. Yes. This is the highest perfection. Even Jesus said that if you want to achieve the highest, you have to be the lowest. The servant of everyone. Yes. Yes. So this is perfection, to be the servant of everyone. And we should strive for this perfection. But we are in this world because we don't want to be the servants of everyone. By our conditioned nature, we want to be the Lord of everyone. And therefore there is conflict on every level of existence. Yes. Conflict between husband and wife. Conflict between children and parents. Conflict between students and teachers. Conflict between friends. Conflict between enemies. Conflict on every level of existence. Even if you take a drop of blood from your body, you can see the whole civilizations in war. One particles against intruders and so on. So, yes. And therefore it's so important to understand that we are just servants of the servant. And every living entity is a servant of Krishna. Yes. Mamaivam shu jiva loke jiva bhutah sanatana. Krishna says every living entity is marked part and parcel. So we should perceive every living entity as our master. Yes. But that doesn't mean that we serve conditioned souls in the way they like. Like if there is a diseased person and he has deranged mind, the proper physician doesn't cure such a patient according to the whims of the patient, but in the way that this patient can be cured as soon as possible, isn't it? So our service to deluded, conditioned souls shouldn't be in the way they like us to serve them, but in the way that they can get cured as soon as possible, and they can surrender to Krishna as soon as possible. Yes. This is the purpose. This is how we should serve. So we should know how to serve different kind of living entities. Yeah. We should serve other devotees who are our peers as our friends. And those who are really advanced, we serve them as as menial servants, and we hear from them. And those who are junior to us, we serve them, that we give them knowledge about Krishna and how to advance in spiritual life. So we are servants in all regards. Even if we are in position of a guru, we should perceive ourselves as servants of our disciples. If you think, yes, I'm a master, then you're a fallen master. Yes. We should be very careful. Pride is a great obstacle, and there is a saying that pride comes before the fall. Yeah. So if we are proud, this is just a matter of time, not matter if, but matter of time when we'll fall down. Yes. Hare Krishna. And it is also mentioned that there are two kinds of liberation even in the spiritual world. And one is Sva Sukha Ishwarya Uttara Moksha. That means that it's of course liberation, and we are devotees, but it's tinged with personal desire. And the example of this are these Mahishis, queens of Krishna in Dwaraka. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that with their coquettish glances imbued with lust, they couldn't conquer Krishna's mind. Yes. But on the other hand, this so-called lust of gopis in Vrindavan completely captivated Krishna, because they had only prima seva uttara moksha. Their other kind of moksha, it's prima seva uttara, completely imbued with prema and seva, desire for service to Krishna. So this should be our only aspiration, to serve. To serve. Not to enjoy, but to serve. Yes, but there is a process to achieve this, because it's not natural for a conditioned soul. And it's natural for every living entity. Is jivaras, is ananda mayo vyasat. We are by nature, we are ananda. So, but in this world we are nirananda, without any happiness. Therefore it's natural that we want to be happy and to enjoy. And when Prabhupada was asked by one reporter what is the goal of life, he said to enjoy. Yes, it's natural, but our aspiration should be to enjoy. Our aspiration should be to serve Krishna, to be endowed with such love that we wouldn't consider our own happiness. And this is when Srimati Radharani has such deep love for Krishna that she says, if Krishna would enjoy more with some other girl, I would go and serve her and plead to her, please come and give happiness to my Krishna. Yes. In material world, this is something unthinkable of. If two girls are in love with one boy, they would scratch their eyes out. and the boys will kill each other. Hare Krishna. And as is important also here it says in translation, and we also mentioned that we cannot achieve this position with Vaidhi Bhakti. Yes, so we should strive for Raga Bhakti. And Raga Bhakti is possible only if we develop great hankering, Lobha for Krishna. Only Lobha can give us Raga, nothing else. So we should cry for Lobha, for Krishna. Yes. Hare Krishna. Is there any question or comment? Yes, please.
Apparently it's not working, but my question was, according to your process, we should not enjoy for ourselves, but we should enjoy for serving. Which is the process from, what is exactly the process from enjoying, wrong enjoying, to enjoying of serving? Because serving should be enjoying.
Yes, but this enjoyment is a side effect. It's not our consideration. So we should understand that it's not an enjoyment that we hanker for, but it's a side effect of service. So if you have a proper mentality in serving Krishna, then naturally you enjoy. You're blissful. And bliss means enjoyment. But if this bliss comes in between our service, between us and Krishna, then we condemn such a bliss. For example, Mother Yashoda couldn't properly see Krishna because her eyes was always full of tears. And it's mentioned also Dwarka in Dwaraka. He was fanning Krishna, but he couldn't see properly Krishna because his eyes were also full of tears because of ecstasy. So this enjoyment, if it is obstacle in our service to Krishna, then we condemn such enjoyment. Yes, but if it's natural. Only in serving the one who we love, there is real enjoyment. Even in this world, we don't get any happiness from things, or from certain position, or anything like this. If you analyze, you're not happy with these things, really. Even in conditioned life, you're happy only if you make someone who you love happy, isn't it? If you love someone very much, you're very happy if we make this person happy, isn't it? Yes. So only service to one we love makes us blissful. This is the only process to be happy, actually. So if one is intelligent, he will strive only for service. Hare Krishna.
Lord Chaitanya, we serve him in awe and reverence.
And Lord Chaitanya, we serve Lord Chaitanya with this desire to engage in his mission, not as Almighty Lord of Lords. Also, we also don't worship Lord Chaitanya in this mood, how he is the great Lord from whom everything emanates. We know that he is, but we don't worship him in this mood because he didn't come in this mood. Also, he came in the mood of a devotee. So we honor his mood of a devotee and we try to engage in his mission. And his mission is to spread prema bhakti everywhere. This most unatojvala rasa, most intimate conjugal love that we should enter in this love, and that we should spread it to every living entity. Yes. So we engage in parampara in the service actually of Lord Chaitanya, who is Radha and Krishna together, to spread his love. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. You said that Hanuman, actually he cannot associate himself with the love and devotion of Radha and Krishna. But we hear that Hanuman is an incarnation of Lord Shiva, isn't?
Yes, but he's at the same time eternal servant of Sitaram.
Yeah, but then we see also that Shiva is also present in Vrindavan.
Yes. Yes. He's in certain pastimes he's considered as Shiva's son and certain as Vayu's son. And definitely great personality, but actually he's eternal servant of Sita and Ram. Yes. And we can see that there are different we can say the same personality in different roles and in different positions. For example, Ramananda Rai, he's explained as Vishaka and Arjuna at the same time. How can we understand this? Yes. And it is explained by Baladev Vidyabhushan in his Govinda Bhashya to Vedanta Sutra. It is explained that one can assume or take innumerable forms in liberated state. Sometimes we can hear devotees are afraid, what if I am a tree in spiritual world or a stone or something like this that he doesn't want to be. But it's impossible to be something that we don't want to be. Spiritual world is the world of freedom. Actually, the spirit is always free. It's just illusion that is bound, that is conditioned. Spirit is always free. And even in this world, spirit can assume unlimited forms. Bahurupai vabati maya bahurupaya. Ramamano gurvinishasva mamaham iti manyati. That it is explained in the second chapter that in this world, soul assumes innumerable forms. We can become a human being, we can become a demigod, we can become a pig, according to our consciousness. Yam yam vapi smaram bhavante jantanti kaliram. And yogis have a power to expand in different forms. For example, we have seen these demons from Vrindavan, they change their form. So, what to speak of these liberated personalities in Vaikuntha? And this is mentioned in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, how when Gopakumar came in front of Vaikuntha, he saw different personalities, and for everyone he thought that this is Supreme Lord. And Supreme Lord, and he bowed down, and these personalities who were devotees actually were disturbed by this bowing down to them. And it is mentioned how one came in huge retinue with many associates, with big glory, like big lord. But when approached Vaikuntha, he turned himself into a beggar and entered alone. So we can take whatever form we like, whatever form we want to serve Krishna. Yes, and it's explained from Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Hritsaroja, Seshu Tikshita Patona Nanata Pumsan. Yatya Diyata Urugaya Vivavayanti Tatatva Puh Pranayase Satanugrahaya. That in whatever way, in third canto, it is explained, whatever way we meditate upon Krishna, that kind of relationship we have with Krishna. Therefore, our sadhya, our goal, depends on our sadhana. We should understand this. So, with this, therefore, it is mentioned in this Damodarashtakam so many times that we cannot approach Krishna in Vrindavan with this reverential mood and with Vaidhi Bhakti approach. We have to develop raga, deep attachment, and hankering for this kind of relationship. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Just exactly what you was mentioned. Vaidhi doesn't lead to Vrindavan.
Yes.
But is there another path to Raganuga than through Vaidhi? Isn't that something we start with Vaidhi and we continue? Or is it, does it develop naturally into Raganuga, or is
No,
it?
Doesn't develop naturally. As I mentioned, that Prabhupada brought this raga sadhana actually. Raganuga Bhakti is also sadhana Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti is sadhana Bhakti, and Raganuga Bhakti is also sadhana Bhakti. It's not perfect yet. But Raganuga Bhakti is practiced with this great longing. So lobha is required for Raganuga Bhakti. Lobha, great hankering. And if we don't hanker for this deep hankering, we will never achieve it. If we just perform our duties as devotees, that we take chanting as our duty, we take reading as our duty, we take hearing Bhagavatam class as our duty, if we take service as our duty, we can be happy in performing these duties, but they will not give us lobha. if we don't hanker for it. Understand?
That has to come from.
Yes, and therefore the purpose of this hearing and chanting and service is for us to understand. We want, because our path is not Vaidhi path. It is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Raghavartma Chandrika, this book on Raganuga Bhakti, that we perform bhakti in Raganuga platform in two ways. One is internal and one is external. And external is Vaidhi. So what we do externally is following these rules and regulations. And Vishwanath Chakravarti himself, in this very book, which explains Raganuga Bhakti, he says, Shruti Smriti Purana Dipancharatra Vidim Vina, Aikantiki Harir Bharti Utpataye Eva Kalpate. That if we don't follow Shruti and Smriti, that means Shastra, and we don't follow Guru and so on, and engage in this Vaidhi Bhakti on the external platform, it's just Utpata Eva, certainly nothing else, just disturbance. Even if we have so-called Aikantiki Bhakti, one-pointed devotion. So, on the external level is always Vaidhi, performing our services according to instruction of our spiritual master and Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. But Raganuga is done internally, also has this internal part, and this is imbued with this deep longing, deep hankering for Krishna. Yes. So we should, if we don't have it, we should have desire to have this desire. Pray for this desire. Yes. Because it comes only through mercy, not by our achievements. Yes. Krishna tat bhakta karunya matra lopaika hetuka pushti margataya kashchit iham ragana gochate. So Raganuga is called Pushti Marga because it's a path of mercy. Krishna tat bhakta karunya. We get it by either by Krishna's mercy or by Bhakta's mercy. So we should search for devotees who are at least striving for this. Yes, that we encourage one another in Lobha. Yes, the best is we find devotees who are filled with raga and get raga from them. Hare Krishna. Yes.
This lobha, sometimes it has anything to do with greed?
Yes. Lobha is also mentioned as an obstacle that destroys bhakti, but this is material lobha, as greed. Greed for material things. But this lobha is greed for Krishna, and for service to Krishna.
Yeah, because I have the tendency to think, to perceive that when we do this hankering and that we don't get it on an internal, that it disturbs in our relationships with other devotees, because we can become so, fanatic actually. So, but that's on external level. No, you said
how you would find this fanatic?
Well, we are hankering, we become fanatic, and then the relationships becomes, to me, it can become weird.
Can you explain more? I cannot understand how can we become fanatic. or the relationship. Actually, relationships become more filled with love if we have this hankering for Krishna. If this hankering is awakened in our heart, then the relationships are more sweet with other devotees. Yes, and loving. This hankering doesn't mean that we are hard-hearted, but just the opposite. The heart begins to melt. We're not just fanatically stick to some principles and rules. Of course we follow them, but not this fanaticism means that I want to prove others that I'm better than them. Understand? But when you're filled with lobha for Krishna, then you naturally are enthusiastic. Enthusiasm is first requirement in devotional service, even for Vaidhi Bhakti. Without enthusiasm, no one can progress nowhere. Even in material world, if you want to achieve any kind of success, without enthusiasm, we cannot progress in any way. Yes, but raga will give us more loving heart, not more hard heart.
I would like to hear more how this raga is really in the Mangalati. That's very interesting. How we can get into that.
Yes, we should just understand what we sing and connect. And this is not coincidence that Prabhupada chose these songs, because he could choose whatever he wanted. He was founder Acharya, and it is not the same as Gaudiya Mat Mangalarti. So he didn't take it from his environment. So he gave specifically for us to develop this hankering. Yes. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Damodarashtakam ki jai, month of Damodar ki jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanande Hari Bol. Please accept my humble peace.